Are we about to enter a new era of Halo Infinite? Many people, including myself, kind of thought that this game was kind of over and done with, right? They've moved on, they've cut so many employees from 343, now Halo Studios, that Halo Infinite is just going to be kind of in a stagnant state just to kind of pump out microtransactions, which, I mean, to be honest, kind of has been the case. When operations first started, there were kind of just like little updates, right? Maybe something new that was made within Forge, an armor set you can unlock, but it wasn't really like a game update, right? Like you'd see with like seasonality that we had just, a few months before. It really did feel like Halo Infinite was kind of just like put on the back burner and was just kind of like in a sustained moment, but it wasn't really going anywhere. And at the time of the operation starting, right? I'll take away my face cam, as you can see, like on Xbox most played game, it was kind of hovering around like 15th most played, like not thriving, but certainly not failing like a lot of people would give you the impression of. But nowadays, it's really fallen down quite a bit. It actually is a little bit higher now just because of the recent update, right? People are jumping back in and playing, but it really hasn't really done very well. In fact, it's anything, it's slowly losing players over time. But with the launch of the Great Journey operation, I feel like this is a major turning point in Halo Infinite. Like, yeah, it's another operation, but it actually brings in like significantly like interesting things to play in the game that previously we just didn't have with like the Halo 2 playlist. You also get third person mode when it comes to be able to play Halo, and our first new weapon to be brought into the Halo sandbox since the Bandit Evo rifle, which was like a year and a half ago or something like that, or like a year ago. But then even then it was like in the variation of the Bandit rifle, which was like a year and a half ago. So it's been some time. But what makes this update so exciting is because what's going in the back end of this update. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because I talked about this in a previous video, guys. SirAsia showcased that a lot of the cut content that we've seen within Halo Infinite has actually been added into the retail build, like the Falcon right here. We've seen this leaked out like, what, 2 years ago or something like that? But now it's actually in the retail build, which is a major difference, right? This shows that like it's actually going to be eventually coming into Halo at some point. Currently still unfinished according to from this build that was showcased by SirAsia, but this would be something that makes it a fan favorite vehicle to come back into the game. Also, a new bit of equipment right here, which is like a alternate firing mode equipment, which is we haven't had before previously. Where one mode, it does like a black hole experience, but it kind of just sucks everything in together. And the alternate version of it is that it will actually just lift things up like a grav lift that we had previously, like in Halo 3 and things like that. So seeing new stuff like this being added into Halo really makes me think that there might be a new era of Halo Infinite coming in for us, as in an era of actual content and things to do in the game. Now, does this mean seasonality is coming back to Halo Infinite? Don't think so at all. I wish it was, but it's not really like that anymore, right? With the current priorities that Halo Studios has with the Halo franchise at the moment. But I think it's really important to take a step back at where we came from to where we are right now and why this recent change is so important. Because it's important to look back here at the Halo Infinite update for 2022 back in April, right? This was a major announcement for the game, the franchise, for the Halo Infinite game, right here showcasing like the roadmap. If you remember these infamous roadmaps that were just like more painful than helpful, really. It's saying that this is when Season 2 launched. It was in early May. It's supposed to run until November. 6 months, not good for what was supposed to be a live service at that time. And then you can look over here. Let me take my webcam so you can see what I'm talking about. Season 3 was supposed to launch in November of 2022, but that didn't happen. Because what ended up happening is that we got the winter update in November, which is like a little mini 30-tier pass, kind of like a little 0.5 season kind of thing. Brought some great additions, right? Like Forge, Beta, Campaign, Co-op, and things like that. But it wasn't really a full-on season, and an actual season not launching Season 3 until March, which is like insane to think about. From like May until March was Season 2. In that Season 3 of 2023, back in March of 2023, is when we got the Bandit rifle, which I think was the first new weapon added into the game, which is crazy to think about. But then things started taking a turn for the better with Season 4 launching back in June of 23, right? Like an actual like properly length season with proper content you'd expect to see within a live service multiplayer game, right? Like new maps, new equipment right here, new customization, Forge updates, career rank coming in, brand new fan favorite mode and stuff like that. Like, this is what you would expect to see from day one. It just came a year later. And then yeah, you had like season 5 as well, which was another great season. We were like really in a good pattern. Like there was a lot of really great momentum that was coming in. And then all of it went away. Bringing in operations, which really seemed much more like a shop update more than anything else, right? It seemed like a lot of the customization that was being brought in was you get like one armor set for free, and then all like 90+% of the customization you could get in Halo Infinite was tied behind a paywall. It just didn't set right with a lot of people. And a lot of these operations were pretty basic as well. Like they were just like simple little modes, updates, things like that. Like you get one armor set that was kind of cool, but I don't ever really see anybody ever using these armor sets within these operations. And Halo was just slowly bleeding players over time with this. But you know, the reason why I think this great journey update is so important is because like it's feeling like a proper seasonal update, minus obviously developer made maps, which you expect with this, but Forge made stuff like with like we're getting with the Halo 2 Delta Halo playlist. That's basically developer quality content right there. That's something that people would want to see in Halo Infinite. So with this type of update that we're getting with this operation, like yeah, the customization offerings are still kind of there, but I mean, we're still kind of like in that sustained period waiting for the next Halo game right now. So I don't really see that kind of mentality changing, but I think the doors are starting to open up a bit more when it comes to things you can do in Halo Infinite, new updates, new things to do, right? Like new maps, game modes, weapons, and customization and different options you guys can play around with within the game, which is something we haven't had, which feels like for the longest time. Like even these operations that they come around rather consistently, right? Like about every other month or so. They just don't really seem to be anything that gets people excited to play, where like this great journey operation really does feel like something that's actually genuinely exciting to jump in and play. Like, yeah, I want to play with the new weapon. I want to play the new modes. I want to play with, try to earn the new customization and things like that. So I wonder if we're actually going to enter in like a 4th era of Halo Infinite, where the launch era was kind of what the launch era time was, the seasonality, extended season era, seasonality, and then we had the operation era. But I think this is going to be like operations, but actually something fun to play with every 3 or 4 months, because that's kind of how their operations work with Halo right now, that you have like, yeah, these new operations that launch every month, but they're kind of like segmented out in these seasonal breaks. So it really is kind of like seasonality, but just in smaller bits. But if every season we can get some actual content of things to do in the game, that's going to be such a huge lift for the Halo community and Halo Infinite as a whole. We can actually go into wherever the next Halo project is going to be for us to play around with and be excited to play Halo rather than just kind of going like, well, it's the only Halo we got. If you guys enjoyed this type of videos, like, subscribe is always appreciated. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.